Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you all. Welcome along. Just doing some final checks and then we'll be with you. A very interesting stream this evening, and hope you've got a drink. Hope you're refreshed. Park your bum and let's have a chat for a couple of hours. And hey, Lee, over in San Francisco. He's joining us for a little bit while he's checking in before he flies back after GDC. But yep, be flying in a little bit. So get ready, get refreshed. I'll be with you very, very soon.
Ancient beings came forth from the stars. They brought fire to the Okar when our ancestors walked the sands and lifted them to the sky. Now we sail the stars. Servants, warriors, merchants, clerics, prideful masters of a domain spanning worlds. There have been missteps. A vicious war settled with a flawed peace. Scarred voices call to restore our honor. Division in a unified people. The ancients hear our discord. They rise. Filled with wrath.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you all. Hope you're all well. Welcome along. I see there's quite a few of you already. Anybody you think we were showing off a new ship this week or something? And I have no idea why you would think that. But yes, we are. We're definitely going to be showing off the Wraith ship, which is coming with the Wrath of the Ancients DLC. And we're going to be showing off that in a little while. You know, we've got to keep things under, you know, wraps just a little bit longer. We're going to do a little bit of gameplay to start with, as you can see in my ever so slightly wonderful looking ship that we coloured because of Lee the last time we were out and about. We're going to carry on with that a little bit, but what's going to happen is, because Lee's obviously not joining us, is we see questions that are going to be in the chat. I'm going to try and answer them the best I can. And then when we show the Wraith, we are going to be having one of our wonderful team members joining me. RFG Jan is going to be on. He's going to join us. Thank you very much. Which, sorry, Lee. Yeah, I did absolutely throw you under the bus there. Absolutely. You did pick the number that came out with these colours. So unfortunately for you, that is... okay, everybody's like, you know, blame Lee, not me. It's not my fault that that looks god-awful. You know, it looks like Kermit the Frog with a nosebleed. It's not my fault. He's, you know, he chose the number. But we're going to be showing off a little bit more of the gameplay on my hard mode. I know some of you want to see me die. I don't know why, you very strange folk that want to see me die. But there, we're going to then switch over in probably about half an hour or so to talk about the Wraith. And we're going to show it off some gameplay. Lots to talk about in all the different things that are going to be coming with the Wraith. And, yeah, and then we've got some... lovely, I mean, absolutely superb screenshots to show you, and we've got one in particular that was the winner that was given a very high accolade from one of the team, very high accolade. So we'll take a look at that towards the end as well. But if you've got any questions, do fire them into chat. And hello to YouTube, streams, Steam. We've got them on Facebook and Twitch. Welcome along anyway. But if you do have any questions, throw them into chat. I'll try and answer them as we go. Okay. Like I say, Lee's busy trying to fly home in San Francisco at the moment, so we haven't got anybody. Can we vote for Gary increasing his difficulty setting? Look, I'm already on hard. You know, maybe the next time I have to do a playthrough, then, you know, we might up it again. We'll see. We'll see. But we've got lots to do between now and then. Anyway, here we are in the Striker. We've just seen one of the game's favoritist characters, and there is a serious bit of sarcasm attached to that. Maddox has just gone boom. So we kind of need to get out of here. We need to leave this vicinity and carry on with the story a little bit. So, how are you all anyway? Have you all been well? Have you had a good couple of weeks? I know it never feels like a couple of weeks, does it, since we've had our last conversations. Maddox goes boom is perfect. I get this funny feeling everybody doesn't like him. Indeed, we do. Like, I'm just going to check on the mission. So, crash and burn. Oh, yes. Okay, so, Blakemore. Oh, see, that's a level 23, so we might need to do something else. I'm always a bit dubious when things are a little bit too above my level. You know, it's 2 levels above. You're asking for trouble. I'm playing on hard, and I'm an old guy now. You know, my reactions aren't as good, so we might have to go on something else of a little detour. We could start some of the Dreadnought stuff. That's an interesting one. And continue with the rips in space. Kosh orbit. Let's do the demolition bot, shall we? Track that one. Let's go there. Let's go do that. Let's go fly around this planet. Go back through Galliano Gate. Is it possible we'll see a Wraith when your hull gets to 0? Well, I'll be a very ghost-like figure if that does happen. But yes, you will see the actual Wraith. It's a very cool-looking ship. Very impressive. I think the team have done a wonderful job on it. And yeah, I think you'll be glad to see it. And when we talk about how it flies and all the different aspects of it, interesting. But we'll do that. Right, here we go. Let's get through back into the Drake Passage. Gotta love the little wormhole. We gotta love it. Everybody, you can see the difference. Some people have high expectations and some people have very low expectations of my flying ability. I get it. Oh, you guys, what are you like? Well, will I be faster with a Striker? Dying, possibly, yes. A Striker is something that I've not played much. Although in some of the testing that I've had to do fairly recently with... oh, go away. Leave me alone. You know who I am. With one of... it was actually an issue. Somebody needed me to look at an issue in my support role. And I did enjoy the Vanguard. They had a really nice setup, and I was quite... that's nice. I did like the time extender. I was very impressed with it. I did like it. Well, the other thing that we'll be talking about later on as well, when we're looking at the screenshots, is the polls. Obviously, the last couple of weeks we've been running some more pilot polls. And we'll have a look at those and see what they came out like. Level 5 perks. See what the choices were. See what you guys chose. All we get to do, win for the Vanguard. Yeah, liking it.
Unless you particularly enjoy
Talahar over on YouTube. I need some anti-nausea medicine for the Leviathan because the big bugger keeps barfing me out. I'm not surprised, really, because I think you're going to be a bit of an indigestion, aren't you, there, really, flying around the innards of a Leviathan. Okay, Grip, that was a very good thing that happened in the last time. When I went to Nefty's plane, all of a sudden, there was a lot of flickering on the ground. Now, I do put that down to my system being the issue there because I stream and I was recording at the same time at 4K. So that was, I think, just putting quite a bit of strain on my system. But yeah, the whole ground was flickering and disappearing. But afterwards, when I tested it, it was perfectly fine. There was no issue. So yeah, we'll put that down to a bit of strain on my system. So. I like this scene. Again, top marks to the art team all the way through the game. They've knocked it out of the park, and you're going to see some even more fantastic environments, which you've seen. Some of you will have seen with our environment trailer, but you've not seen everything yet. Seen everything.
We gave you all our niobium. Where our transports go?
Oh, look at them nice, fresh freighters that everybody could kind of blow up and grab the stuff from. Not that I ever do that.
We really didn't. Hangar bays launch. Target the coalition ships.
Have a care with my fighters, Commander.
A little harmless fun. Target practice.
Somebody grab the cargo.
Hive. The only ones here?
I detect no other freelancers.
It's up to us to save the transports.
They're looking good.
Were we not instructed to focus on the failsafe?
Here we go.
Leaving
Well,
civilians to die.
Then I recommend targeting the web drones.
cool. You out there? Oh, you're just gonna be a pig, aren't you? Oh, we can throw you where? That's cool. Hey. I think what didn't help is I didn't actually restock before I came here because I'm lacking a little bit in my secondaries.
Going to enjoy putting you down. Big talk for a guy hiding behind dreadnought armor.
Come on, die. Whee! I love that you can do that. Do you know, I actually didn't know you could do that until recently. Just getting them out of the way so at least I've... Oh, they do come back, do they? Oh, god damn you. I thought that was going to be so easy. Little weasels. Should have thrown them into something hard, shouldn't I? Well, weapons do feel a little bit underpowered as well. Might need to improve them a little bit too. Do I use the G key? Because you always complain about me using the G key or not using the G key. But let's use it. Let's give it some beans, shall we? We're free. Oh, give me that blueprint. Let me give me the blueprint. You can go. Armored brick. This is nice. What we need. Oh, boom. Thank you. You're done. one.
You're killing me here, Roslyn.
Killing me here, Roslyn. Of course I do.
On station. Invoice 2, Cardenas, V. On the Okar war? XR, we need to stop the hijackers from launching fighters.
Most problems can be solved with explosives. I will generate demolition charges for you.
Come on, XR, give me those bombs. We need to go do something with those bombs and make everything go boom.
Minokawa's drive fields may cause premature detonation. I will move clear. Roslyn
Premature
must place
detonation. That's never a good thing.
demolition charge ready.
Oh, there we go. That's that bug with DLSS. This is a known issue. Don't worry, we are working on it. Trying to pin it down. There's always the fun thing.
Charge generation complete.
Nice. Panzer bomb. This doesn't make it difficult to do this, doesn't it? Come on.
Where am I shoving this high?
Where am I shooting? Wow, that's just rude, Adam. That's just rude.
Several weak points. I recommend tossing the charge from a safe distance.
Was that close enough, Hive? Because I think it was too close.
What the hell did you just do, Roslyn?
Nothing.
Why? Having a problem, Patel?
We didn't do anything.
One
Not a thing.
demolition charge. Perfect in every respect.
Can we hit that weak spot? Oh, we got the weak spot.
Damage control to the flight decks. Launch crews, push the fighters out by hand if you have to.
Okay.
I believe.
Let's grab this last bomb. Come on. Fire! There we go.
Deploying demolition
Did that
charge.
not hit?
Please arrange pickup.
Oh. Okay, that's flickering is problematic. Did miss, didn't it? There it is. I'm going to be a little bit closer. Like I say, this is just a bug that's problematic with DLSS, I believe, is the known issue for this. Come on. Thank you. You did it this time.
Inspiring.
Inspiring.
Oh, my muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention.
Who'd have thought XR was such a cool dude with his Shakespearean
Is best
quotes?
appreciated in the original binary.
I wonder if he did it in a large language
Coalition
model.
stations are defenseless. I'm gonna take out some of those attacking fighters.
Cool.
Mr. Cardenas would likely ask you to focus on the failsafe.
Probably. Lives come first.
Indeed, Adam. Lives come first. Except these outlaw lives, obviously. He's just, you know, killing as many as he can of. Good. That's that one done. Let's highlight it there, give it a little bit of that. Somebody's chasing me. Hello, you. Don't like you. Need to go away. Have a bit of corrosion injection. There we go. How do you like them apples? There we go. It's done. G. Save some of the G. Let's shift over here. It really doesn't help that I've got no secondaries either. Remind me I need to repurchase stuff at the shop. Shieldy boy. Yeah. Nearly there. We're nearly there. Don't like being this close to the dreadnought, to be fair, because Does give you a bit of extra pain from the turrets. Come on. Die already. Sure, that's a line from Adam as well. Right, let's just fire in some shots there. There you go, he's done. Quantum tether. Yeah, gotta love it.
Civilians safe for a bit. Hi. You have the location of the failsafe?
It is protected within the hull. I have marked a potential access point.
Right, let's get in there. We know where this is.
Required.
Whee! Leave me alone. I'm just going in here. Nothing to see, nothing to worry about. Let's deploy a drone. Yay!
Drone deployed.
Drone deployed. Well, let's see if we can crash and burn on this, can we?
Good thing that I was around. See you, Adam.
Oh, thanks for coming, Alec.
Robot. What's 22 divided by 7?
I was programmed to respond to that specific query
Oh,
with
it's back to
your
there then.
bot. I am
Yeah.
uncertain why.
I still want to know who came up with that line. I really do. Who comes up with that line? I'll never know. Whoop. Oh, hello. This could get painful. I'm not careful. And who thought of your butt?
If you're a Panzer unit, shouldn't you be self-destructing?
If you wish to engage my services, I will forward you a contract.
This is 800 pages long.
Yeah, I think you might be right with the Chris line, yeah.
Avoid contractual ambiguities.
Okay. Let's dip under there. Up there. Let's avoid that one. Right, let's orientate ourselves a little bit. Okay. Unstable power core. Oh, hang on. He needs to be in that vent, doesn't he? Up there. There it is. Let's see if we can plonk this in. There we go. Off you go, little buddy. Go do your stuff. Whee! Doink, doink. I love how it's unstable, but he's kind of bish-bashing along the way. Whee! Next! That would be really annoying if I decided to blow myself up in after doing all that. Wrong way! Whoop. Definitely not that way. Whoop. There we are.
Failsafe beacon.
Hack the terminal. Let's hack it. Hack.
Codes accepted. The failsafe has uplinked to Eterna.
Cool. Let's get out of there.
Colleagues, final confirmations have arrived. It's time to prepare for our guests.
What? We can't leave yet.
We can't leave yet.
Can and will.
Why does this rustling keep showing up?
Excellent question. We'll discuss at the fallback point. All craft, execute.
Because I'm following you around, that's why.
I don't know who sent you guys, but I'm glad they did.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your satisfaction with
Always
our
get it in the performance report.
Hold that thought, XR.
Indeed,
When I got
hold
here,
that
you said
thought,
something
XR.
about nubium? Niobium. A metallic element. Our main export. They took all we had. I know a guy who'll want to know that.
Coalition Station. I would like to interview all observers of my engagement. I must present my employer with an itemized bill.
I can confirm you were successful. Well done.
Cardenas, the hijackers stole a load of niobium. That mean anything to you?
It does. Rendezvous with me aboard the Azorian. You'll need special equipment for your next assignment.
Oh, look at these
Received a set
containers.
of coordinates in
That's
open
nice.
space.
I'm just floating around. Let's see what's in them, shall we? Okay. Why you know up? I'll shoot you then. There we go. Another ship module. There. Special container. More stuff. Be full of stuff. Is anybody like me when they see all this stuff just floating around? They've got to go pick it up. There we go. That's no. We'll just dismantle that. Just dismantle that. Scattergun. Who would ever use one of them? That's just wrong. Just do see a question. Yeah, Rockfish is based in Germany, in Hamburg in Germany, with members dotted around the globe. As you can probably tell, I'm based in the UK. Lee's from Canada, and some of the other team are in and around Hamburg. Some maybe a little bit further afield as well. But no, I'm not going to do the secrets here. I'll let you word them out. Let's get out of there. Let's move on. Right, let's just have a little look-see. So, how close? Actually, we should really go to Noah Damaris, because that is right next door where we want to be. So let's go there, because we can get repaired, we can get things done. I can have a quick flick through, see if there's any questions that I need to answer and have a little look through, because you never know. Yeah, the game does have voiceover fully voiced over in German as well as English. But yeah, the voiceover talent that we have is from all around the globe. But yeah, some are from the US.
Hi, is this the communications office? I'm here for the job.
Here for the job.
Things are crazy today. If you would give me a moment.
And in fact, Hive
I need to see your references,
is
and most
a
importantly,
English
your
man,
portfolio.
Gavin Turnbull, who I believe lives in
Don't tell me
Germany.
you don't have a portfolio.
So there we go.
I need to see if your writing can be straightforward, unbiased, and as diplomatic as it gets.
How you doing, Alex, over
You know
on
someone who
YouTube?
turns
You're very
every little
welcome, my friend.
outlaw
Very
raid
welcome.
into
We
breaking
like to
news.
stream. We like to show
I
off
thought
the
you were
game.
looking for someone to maintain peace in the DMZ.
Oh, don't tell me you're another vigilante. Every
Another
second, more and
vigilante?
more like you
What she's
pour
talking
into
about.
the DMZ. Just because this is a former war zone doesn't mean that they can take matters into their own hands.
Yep.
It is
Oh
our
yeah,
job
Gavin
to
is in
keep them
Cologne. Yeah,
informed
very
on what
good.
is
Yeah.
actually
Very
going
convenient.
on.
Such a wonderful voice actor as well. I think our recent poll was that Hive is just the fun character, the sarcasm, the infamous, I think, is probably the right phrase, British sarcasm, which I'm a full supporter of.
That's why we need someone whose prose could curb a tornado, and that is clearly not you.
Korosami over on YouTube, Hive, literally Hive, who's played by Gavin Turnbull. He is English.
All right, I just received a message that
Obviously in the English voiceover.
Place at the Ceto jump gates. You could start there.
I'm on it.
Thanks. Hey, who put out the piece about the mining cap on Insidium?
This communications manager, she definitely likes to talk a lot.
34 is a dead man walking, I tell you.
Loves to talk about stuff. Right, let's just get into our inventory, shall we? Actually, we don't want it. Could do a quick restock, can't we? Just do that. Let's just purchase all. Let's get that repaired. Actually, do need to dock at one of the other places. Would be good. Let's get some stuff. G&B Union Branch. That's always good. Oh, look, there's some floating ramen. I wonder if that was there when I killed that thing before. Maybe. God, that ship is awful, Lee. Why did you choose that colour?
Valuables are stored in a separate facility.
That is awful.
To the key to my manager.
See, that's I think I think that might be a worthy upgrade just because of the armor. That's 2,000 more armor. I think we'll put that on for the time being. I think we'll go with that. Booster, recharge. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We're going to do that. That's a bit rubbish. multi-coil. Just get rid of stuff that we don't really want. That can go into there because that stacks. Let's get rid of them. There, 20s, no 20s. Still like them. Let's just sell some stuff. Like I say, you can take the items anywhere you like, especially if you're finding items that might be selling well elsewhere, for example. They give a better trade numbers, but generally let's just get rid of it kind of scenario. Say that needs a repair. We do need to repair that actually. Because that... Yeah, okay. We'll keep that. Get rid of them. Keep them in there. Okay, I think that's worthwhile swapping. All this other stuff. Let's just get rid of it. Let's just bin it off. Let's get it gone. Imagine, is that the Together We Stand set? That's the chew of, isn't it? I need to keep hold of that. Get rid of the Meson. Secondary replies. We'll refill of them. I'll keep hold of them. I do hoard stuff, but then other stuff I'm just like, nah, don't need anymore. Let's get rid. Any good ships? Scout? Nah, nothing there. Right. Right, okay, so where are we up to? Let's just do a restock on that. So we've got the purchase of that. We've got any questions that are just hanging about there that we need to look at? Alligator Jude was saying, use the scattergun, you need kinetic DPS. I do, I just don't like scatterguns. That's the problem, is I really don't. Yeah, I'm just a bit picky when it comes to those. Okay, yeah. We can always craft something as well. I know we are lacking a little bit in kinetic DPS as well, because we're a little bit behind, because that's obviously energy, that's energy, and that's a little bit, but that's a little bit behind. That is kind of getting a bit long in the tooth, but we can always craft something. Let's see. Yeah, for those of you that are interested, we are going to be looking at the Wraith very, very shortly. I've got RFG Yan on RFG Yan ready and waiting to talk about it, and we'll be loading that up very quickly. If you've got any questions, hit me up now. I just want to see if there's anything that I've missed as we scrolly through. I think we're all good. Yeah, I think we're good. Excellent. Am I going to change the colours of my ship? People are thinking, I don't know if I can. I really don't. I dropped it in the sheet. Right, okay, cool. Let's have a little look. Flory's asking, so we've got some that's come through. Okay, they were from the last time. So which level, which conditions with the Wraith will be available? Okay, we'll talk about that when we do the Wraith, so we'll do that one. Super Scrapper, has anyone reported weird Moir patterns happening on various planets in EVERSPACE 2? Now, Super Scrapper, I don't know if you are specifically meaning any of the lumen issues where there's kind of flickering, or if you mean something different. If you do mean something different, please do drop it into our Discord in the support channel there, because that'd be really, really cool to check and see what you mean, see if there's anything that we need to check out with regards to planets. Again, anytime that you have any issues, please do drop by either the Steam forums or the Discord, put it into there. It's not more than anything else, okay? Any issues, anything that you're querying, we might already be on it, but do drop it in. I'll pick it up and then I'll pass it on to people like Jan to kind of check out. We'll see if we need to investigate further. Grip, any plans for future collaborations with other game dev studios? I mean, obviously you've seen that we've done a few little collabs, etc. Then maybe in the future, who knows? It's always a difficult one because you never know what's going to become available, but we shall definitely see. But it'd be nice. Yeah, certainly it would be nice. But again, it's time and getting all those things to the stars to align as such. It's always very, very difficult. Yeah. So if there's any more questions, I can't see anything that's come through. But yeah, Flory, I'll definitely answer your question when we talk about the Wraith, which I'm just going to do now. I'm just going to do something that I forgot the last time. I'm actually just going to hit the save and do that, and then save it because I forgot one time and I had to redo the whole save. Nearly, well, a few hours anyway. Oops. Right. While we get set up, I'm just going to switch over to the intermission page, as we do. And then we've got a few things to get ready. And then we'll have a look at the Wraith, shall we? Shall we have a look? Yeah. Back in a moment. Don't forget, if you want to follow us on the socials, you can hit us up on the Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, everywhere, YouTube channels. You just want to dive in if you can. Right, let us switchy-roo. I need to bring up the dev build. So, just a reminder, while I'm bringing up the dev build, anything you see is still a work in progress. Things can change, names can change, features can change. You may see bugs, you may see issues. All these things that we're probably still working on. It is an absolute work in progress. I can't stress it enough. So don't think anything is final. We're definitely still working our way through things. Let's do that. Let's bring up that. Let's get the game running. It's always good. Right. Come on, Dev Build. You know you want to. Let's get 1, 2. Right. Just before we do that, we've got a new teaser. Oh, we've got a new teaser. I always like a new teaser that we're going to show you now. And it's going to tell you some of the information that you probably wanted to know about the Wraith. So I'm going to show you that now, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at it in-game. Check it out. As the events of the new story in Wrath of the Ancients unfold, you'll get your hands on a one-of-a-kind ship called the Wraith. We hope you're ready, pilots, as this fighter flies in a league of its own. At first, this new spacecraft may feel heavy. New Wraith pilots will quickly learn one has to earn its full potential. Starting with the special, each kill drops echo fragments. Collecting fragments grants stacks of ethereal resonance, which deals damage over time to nearby enemies while increasing your speed. Damage against the current locked target is doubled. Activate your ultimate to take on the ship's namesake with Spectral Form. Entering this semi-corporeal state saps the Wraith's hull over time. The less hull you have, the higher your damage output. In this state, the ship temporarily replaces your devices with unique abilities. Siphon Pulse consumes ethereal resonance stacks, harming all affected enemies, repairing their hull for a percentage of the damage dealt. Spectral Shift teleports pilots forward, passing through smaller enemies and damaging all targets in a radius around the path, collecting echo fragments along the way. In a pinch, Vanish turns the ship invisible and suspends hull decay. The ability's duration increases when collecting echo fragments. Finally, Resurgence collects all available echo fragments, reviving them as manifestations that fight alongside you, great for turning the tide of battle. When your hull hits 0, Spectral Form ends, fully restoring it once more. Pilots will be able to get a taste of this ship during the main campaign and acquire it from later. There's still more to the elusive Wraith, but we'll leave that for you to discover in EVERSPACE 2 Wrath of the Ancients. Wishlist today to be ready for release on PC, Xbox and PlayStation later this year. There we go. How cool does that look, eh? Yes, it was narrated by myself. Which is always good. You know, when you've got a British guy that's... in fact, a little tidbit there. I'd actually just had some mouth surgery just prior to that. I actually recorded it, so yeah. You know, I took it for the team, though. I took it for the team. But, yeah, plenty of questions that are going to be coming in after seeing that trailer. We will play it out again at the end so that you can see it again and look at it in all its glory. Now... taking time out of their busy schedule and their free time, we're very, very lucky to have with us one of the team, one of the great people that I work alongside with, who I constantly hassle and constantly give grief and jobs to do. And that is RFG Jan, who I'm going to bring in any second with the right button. And there he can hopefully... Where are you, Jan? There he is. Look, there he is. How you doing, Jan? Welcome along. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi, Gary. You never give me grief.
To be fair, Monday morning, I think Jan's like, oh, God, what's he giving me? What's coming over the weekend? So, yeah, Jan is our quality assurance manager. So he tries to make sure everything is tip-top and keeping everything running as it should. So, yeah. Now, Jan is with us because he has a bit more in-depth knowledge of the Wraith, but we're going to talk about it very much so, and I'm sure you've got plenty of questions that are going to be flying in. We've kind of semi-prepared some of those for what you're going to be asking, but we're going to talk through a little. We've got a few talking points. But yeah, Jan, you might have seen him before if you've watched some of the streams as well. Jan's been with us for an interview. I think it was with Eric quite a little while ago. Yeah, we did a nice little interview with Eric. Talking about his role here at Rockfish. So, yeah, if you've got any questions regarding the Wraith, keep firing them in. We'll try and answer them. But let's have a little look-see at the Wraith. We've got one here. This nice one sat, looking rather splendid. There's a lot happening here. I'm at Briar Bioplant, and there's lots of Redeemers trying to kill me and everything else. But this is the ship. It is customized, by the way. That is not the default. I've made it all look very nice, even though it does need a little bit of a paint job there. But yeah, so the Wraith itself, and I'm kind of going to ask you this, Jan, if you can, what or how do you kind of outline what the Wraith ship actually is, and where do you think it kind of fits within the ship classes?
Yeah, so the Wraith pretty snugly sits in the medium ship classes, but leans a little bit more to the heavier side. So it's like the ship class with the medium ship class with the most hull hit points, but the lowest handling. So it can feel a little bit slow in the beginning, but in the end, the Wraith is all about like stack management, if you want to call it. The echo fragments that you already saw in the trailer that you pick up. That will give you AoE damage, and then you can play off of those stacks and do some cool stuff with your new abilities that you get when you're in your ultimate.
Yes, a very, very strong ultimate it is. Looking at kind of the ship itself, I mean, you've played it quite a lot. I've played it a little bit. Is it going to be one of those ships that's, and I think we kind of alluded to it in the trailer as well, that it's going to be, once you master it, that's when it becomes powerful, once you understand the synergies, etc.? I
mean, I think it has both things at the same time, because the inherent AoE damage that the ship already has makes it quite easy when you're just traversing the open space and are not necessarily in a Rift 2000 or something. That definitely just gives you a boost, especially for people that are maybe not that skilled, and you can just drain away all the enemies that come your way and build stacks upon stacks. But then again, to actually get like the whole potential out of the ship, that's where skilled players will have a lot of fun, I think, like min-maxing, how you can rotate through these additional devices that you get and how to like get the most out of it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think it's one of those, just to kind of go back to the kind of ship class that it is. Originally, it was kind of thought that it was going to be a kind of light medium, but we got the tape measures out and we put it on some scales and we realized that it was kind of a bit of a heavy medium, really. But it kind of transcends across the medium spectrum because, as you said, it's one of the slowest kind of handling to start with. However, with how the ship is built, collecting the echo fragments and then having the stacks of resonance stacks rather, then it can increase in terms of handling, speed, damage, etc. So there's certainly a potential for it to unlock as you do collect the echo fragments.
Yeah.
Some people will have seen this, obviously, this Wraith or a kind of OCAR ship being piloted before within our story. Sorry, there's a little bit of a kind of spoiler here. But did the team kind of take a little bit of a nod towards the Mokar and say, hey, it'd be really nice that we had a pilotable ship? I know people have obviously been thinking that we possibly could, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, first of all, like when we created the new DLC, like very early on, we already knew that we wanted to have like a more exotic ship. We wanted to have an alien ship, so something players haven't had the chance to pilot yet.
Yeah.
We also knew that the Orca would probably play a role in that new DLC, and then we already had the plot point that, hey, there was a time where humans already like piloted it an Orca ship, so it all like fitted very, very well together, and we took that and ran with it.
Yeah. I think it's good if you can take elements from a ship that is good and then combine it into something that we wanted to bring to the game. Then I think it's all power to us. They kind of tied in with a little bit of a question that's come into the chat just now from Alex over on YouTube, and it's kind of one of the talking points that we had. People are bothered that it's kind of going to upset the balance and it's going to be kind of some overpowered, very strong ship. It's going to be the meta one to go to. Is it really going to be that, or do you think we have some kind of play style that's just going to separate it from the others?
Yeah, definitely not. I think currently, like if I would have to like put it somewhere like balance-wise, it sits like pretty much in the middle of the field. There are definitely ships that are easier and like give you more rewards easier. Like for example, I think the Interceptor will be one of the classes that will get you results easier than using the Wraith. But it can be like very, very satisfying if you get to the point where you master the ship and just blast away all the enemies with your abilities. So yeah. I mean, so to like TLDR, no, it's definitely not the one overpowered ship that everyone will fly, and every other ship class will be garbage after the Wraith is out there. No, not at all. Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. Like I say, we don't want to have something within the game that is literally, I've got to choose this, I've got to have that, because we know that people, even myself, Jan, we all play differently. We all play, some people like to be long range snipers, other people like to be up close and personal and using devices and everything like that. And I just think it's a nice kind of combination, which you'll kind of see with the different abilities that the ship has, is how it can cover so many different things, but we'll get to those very, very shortly. One thing that we will mention is that obviously we're bringing this ship to the game with the DLC, and it is going to be obviously for Wrath of the Ancients. Now, one thing that people have asked is, I've got all my ships, what am I going to do? I've got no room. We are going to provide one extra ship storage slot so that you're going to have room. So don't worry, you're not going to have to sell your favorite Interceptor or anything like that just to make room for the ship. We are going to give you one more space in your hangar. So don't panic. I know it's probably somebody was feverishly going to type this in the comments afterwards, after we've shown it, and be like, no, we need. Why only one? Literally because we want everybody to, and this is for Flory from Twitch, we want everybody to just to have like at least one of each. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, hang on, I want several. The other thing we've got to be considerate of is how much storage space as well that everybody has. Kind of we up the storage. We don't want you to have everything because I think Tees would just enjoy this because of the UI elements and the issues that we have with the UI in terms of how they have to be cached and everything. It can be a little bit difficult to Flory's like, I want 10 interceptors. Yeah, well, you're not allowed. We can, technically. You just wouldn't have any of the ship by then. But, yeah, we want people to kind of pick and choose. We don't want just people to hoard everything. I have seen some of the screenshots of people with everything that they can possibly hoard dotted across every ship. Now, obviously, we're going to alleviate that with some of the quality of life improvements that we're bringing to the game as well. Being able to do ship-to-ship transfers. Literally, when you're docked, you can just go, I'm going to put that into there. I'm going to put that into there. Yeah, Kizor, you might be one of those people with too much in your storage. But you're going to be able to transfer things from one ship to another, and you don't have to think, oh, I need this build, so you've got to take it off of storage. So Danlock, this ship comes with a DLC in which it can be found. Correct. So I have got a few other questions that have just literally come in that we're just going to kind of answer as the best we can. Oh yeah, Flory, that was the question that was about the ships. Bearded Frog, right? Okay, we'll talk about your question kind of now. So as we kind of literally dive into the ship itself, I'm kind of going to look at variety of things in kind of order, because we touch on it in the video, but each obviously ship has its own special, it has its own ulti, it has the passives, and then it has its own things that work off that. Now straight away, just temporarily, I'm just going to remove Jan's screen. Sorry, Jan, just because you can't get anywhere. Literally on screen, as you can see there, this is a bit of a device master, is the ship, because you've got your 4 original devices there at the top, but then you've got the spectral form devices. Okay, so when you're in spectral form, which is your ultimate, then you'll be able to unlock the spectral form devices, which you're then going to be able to use, which is very, very nice, and we'll get into those specifically. But I'm just going to bring Yang back in now because he's not blocking everything. So in terms of the special, which is the Quantum Covenant. Okay, killing enemies leaves echo fragments. We've seen, obviously, these little fragments from the trailer that you collect. They're there floating around after you've killed enemies, and you collect them. Collecting them grants you a stack of ethereal resonance. Okay, and they will last for 12 seconds. Now, each ethereal resonance will give you 60 damage to energy and 100 to kinetic, and that's per second, okay, for all the nearby enemies, and it also increases your speed. Now, when we were talking about how the handling on the Wraith isn't the best, this is where all of a sudden you will see that your speed increases, that you will become better. It will improve, and this is why we kind of got it. It might be bad in some aspects, but then it's good in others as you kind of unlock things with the special. One thing to note on that screen as well, damage is doubled for your locked target. So not only are you obviously going to be doing damage per second with the stacks of ethereal resonance, your target, whatever is locked, is going to have that doubled against it. So you can see all of a sudden, just with the special, it's becoming a lot more in terms of just an OCAR ship. It literally turns into something that once you start killing things, it gets stronger, and they last with the stacks. So I kind of hope you can kind of understand where we're going with this in terms of, yeah, it's not the great to start with, but once you kind of working away at it, imagine in a Rift or in a HRA or something like that, you've got lots of enemies, so they're going to be destroying those, grabbing the echo fragments, stacking ethereal resonance, targeting something, double damage, boom, or increasing your damage. That is literally going to be very, very strong. Very, very strong. Now, Jan, I just want to kind of ask you something about the Quantum Covenant, which I'll just bring up again so that it's on screen. There we go. It's because they moved off the screen. Hey, behave. Come on. There you go. Nearby enemies, is that... What kind of range are we talking about in terms of... is it about 300 meters around that figure?
I think like the base value is like 300 meters, but the cool thing with this is that it scales with your with your expertise. So
okay.
If you bump up your expertise, the range in which you're dealing this AoE damage and the actual damage will increase.
Right, okay. I'm just going to remove myself here because I'm just actually covering over that on the expertise. But you can see here, while I'm hovering over on the expertise, you can see that it actually does so because it's a part of the subclass of the ship. Ethereal resonance damage is at 236% and the ethereal resonance range is at 400%, and that's because I've stacked into expertise. I wonder where all these attributes came from. I wonder who chose them. I'm sure it was you, Jan.
No, I mean, it was like a lot of like back and forth.
Yeah.
Marco did like most of the like game design work on this one.
Yeah.
And like one of the main ideas was with this ship that we get into attributes that are maybe not commonly used so much, because most of the ships you would just blast like firepower, precision. Maybe you have some utility ships like with the Stinger or something, but this will really flourish like stacking expertise, and also structure and resistance are also very interesting for the ship actually.
Okay.
We get to that a little bit later.
Okay, cool. Now obviously the damage to the lock target, we've said that it is doubled. Is that all the damage that you do, or is it only the damage of the ethereal resonance?
No, this is just for the ethereal resonance.
Okay, so there we go. Yeah.
Damage.
I know it's probably something that a lot of the players would kind of ask is, oh, he says double damage. Does that mean every time I hit it with a rocket or if I hit it with a laser? Yeah. But so that literally is just for the ethereal resonance stacks. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Now, we're going to move over onto the next, which is the ult. Now, this is a spectral form. This is where you would go from using your normal devices to the spectral form devices, which we've got just behind Jan. Sorry, Jan, I'm just going to get rid of you again. You can see that there's 4 different devices, but once you go into the spectral form, like any other ultimate, once you've kind of got it built up, it transforms the ship into a ghostly semi-corporeal form, which does not expire, but your hull will decay at an increasing rate. All your damage is increased by 100%, depending on how much of your hull is missing, and your devices are replaced with special abilities, which are those over on the far side. When your hull reaches 0, spectral form will end, and your ship is restored back to full hull. Okay, so it doesn't kind of do anything dramatic in terms of, oh, I'm just going to have no hull by the end of it. It literally is just a kind of, it uses your hull and it decays. Now, I know we've kind of discussed this, Jan, is if you are obviously decaying your hull, does it leave you vulnerable if you say delete, or sorry, your shield or your plating is depleted at any point?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Because the hull in the old is separate from your actual hull. So every time you get out of the old, you will be set to 100% hull. That also means that like clever players, like in a pinch, might just use the old to heal themselves to like 100% hull if they want to. But of course, I mean, depending which kind of content you're currently playing and on which difficulty or whatever, if you don't have like any shield, any armor or any plating left, and then you're like switching out of your like ult, you probably are still in a lot of danger.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So obviously when you're in the ult, and I know there's kind of some questions that kind of around this. Hellslider, you're just asking if you can cancel the spectral form early. Yes, you can, like every other ult. You can stop it. So if all of a sudden you think, hang on, my hull is going down very, very quick, then you could activate it and then deactivate it very, very quickly, and then whoosh, you're back to basically full hull, which I think is very, very handy, as Jan said, for getting yourself out of a pinch, because if you're in trouble, hitting the ultimate, you might think, okay, what does it give me? But literally deactivate it would then give you your hull back. So it's very, very handy. Space is awesome. Does the decay rate increase as more enemies are killed, or is it just a constant rate?
It's a base value that will increase over time. So it just gets like multiplied, and at some point it's so much that you pretty much get one shot.
Yeah.
So you
yeah.
you can't stay indefinitely in the old, but there are like more than one way to extend the time that you can stay in the old.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. Yeah, it's how you can extend it is quite handy as well, because of all the different things that we kind of give you in terms of the abilities that come with it. We're just going to look at the passives now. Just to talk about the passives, they are all fixed. I know some of the other ships, they have a variety of different passives, but these are going to be the 4 that you have. There may be tweaks. Again, this is work in progress. There might be some alterations, but generally what you see here is our kind of iteration of it. So don't go to a ship dealer and expect to swap things out. That goes for the same thing with regards modules. Okay, there are no extra modules, ship modules that you're going to pick up as like a drop or anything like that. This ship is as is. It's very unique, so there aren't going to be parts floating around the DMZ that you're going to be able to pick up or anything like that. So what your passives you're going to see, and the ship modules as well. Okay, so looking at the passives, consumables have a 30% chance not to be spent on use, which again is very handy if you are one of these people who likes to use your consumables. I tend to forget, to be honest, but that's just me. Hull damage has a 25% chance to be ignored. Okay, so that's a 1 in 4 chance of just not taking any damage to your hull. Entering the spectral form fully restores weapon and energy boost. So that's another thing coming out of, obviously, spectral form. You get your hull back. Going into spectral form obviously gives you full weapon and boost energy. Win-win. That you can see how this is. I'm sure people are already going, oh, I can see how we're going to play this, and you will definitely find a way. And then each stack of ethereal resonance reduces the hull decay during spectral form by 10%. So as Jan was alluding to, you can kind of slow it down, because each stack will reduce the hull decay during spectral form by 10%. Now, is there a kind of limit on that, Jan, on the reduction? So is there kind of a cap that so people can't just stay in that form forever?
Yeah. So you can have up to 10 stacks of ethereal resonance, and that also means that when you're at 10 stacks, your hull decay is like at 0%, so you will freeze the hull decay during that time. But freezing the hull decay doesn't mean that it doesn't continue stacking in the background. We already talked about it in the past, and you had like a good example for that. It's like a dam holding water, so to say. And as soon as like your stacks drop away, all that pent up water will flood the tiny village. And
So don't be thinking that I can just freeze it and then I'm just going to build up this whole massive chance of to hold in that position. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. As soon as that ethereal resonance stacks go away, that whole kind of built up decay is just going to go whoosh, and you'll see a significant drop in that decay, almost, I would think, nearly instantaneous. But then again, you're not going to lose anything. You're not going to lose the kind of your hull, because that is just going to regenerate. So
just to be clear, it's not like the hull decay is like actually adding up in the background. It's a bit hard to explain. You're not suddenly losing half your hull after your stacks fall away. It's more like the hull decay will continue with the increased intensity that would have built up in the time you freezed it. I hope that makes sense.
I think as you'll see when you actually get to play it, and as you kind of drop away, because you've frozen it, that actual decay would have still happened. So like you say, if you've lost like 20%, 30% of your hull, and then all of a sudden that ethereal stack disappears, you're still going to have that decay happen. But you're not going to kind of go just all of a sudden it's just going to disappear. It's just going to kind of build up for that. But it's going to be interesting, and we're going to be very intrigued to see how you guys and girls get used to the idea of this. It's definitely a different way to play, but I'm sure you'll kind of all work it out. Now, when we're in, obviously, the spectral form, which is, we will show you all this as well. We are going to do a little bit of gameplay in and around this. I'm going to try to and show you these things. But what we have is the different spectral forms. And I'm just going to bring up this one. Now, this happens when you obviously have to be in spectral form. So your normal devices would kind of disappear, and they are replaced by these spectral form devices. Now, the first one is Siphon Pulse. And what that does is that will consume all ethereal resonance stacks and instantly deal the remaining damage to all affected enemies, repairing your hull for 30% of the damage dealt. So again, if you're kind of struggling with your hull damage and you need a bit of a repair, hitting this is going to consume all of them, hit all the damage to your enemies, and then repair you as well. I mean, that's quite amazing, really. I mean, and it's on a 17-second cooldown. So again, if you kind of work it out, how often you can do it, how, you know, can you survive? Can I get the ultimate, etc. You're gonna have so much fun with this. Really, it's Jan, would you say this is more like just an absolute big hit? You know, because of the damage that it does to so many affected enemies that are in and around your kind of bubble that we were talking about in the area, and then the kind of heal that comes with it. Is it really that?
Yeah, definitely. It's like your big boom. So the go-to play here is having taken 10 stacks, like ideally being low on hull, because your damage is increased while you're on low hull. And then having 10 fresh stacks, and then blast the Siphon Pulse, just demolish everything around you, and instantly be at 100% hull again because you healed for 30% of the damage. Yeah. So remember, if your hull, for example, was like 1,000 points or something, and then you did a hit for, you know, say 10,000 or something like that, 30% of 10,000 is going to be 3,000. So all of a sudden, your hull is going to be back to full. You know, so you can use it as a serious amount of, hey, I've just healed myself massively. So if you do a big hit, good crit, using that at the same time, winner. Your hull is back to full again. Another one we have is the Spectral Shift. Now, this one is probably quite familiar to some of them in a kind of a similar way. If you know of the Epicenter device, no, actually, no, it's not the device. It's the the legendary. Having that jump and doing damage is similar to this, but it's kind of a different skew on it. So you're going to be teleported 600 meters forward, which is cool. You know, it's always a nice get out of dodge. I do use similar, where you pass through smaller enemies and your damage all targets. Currently, for me, is 11.1 on the 8,840 on the energy and 11,000 on the kinetic, in a 100-meter radius around the path. And then also, you collect all of the echo fragments along the way. So it's kind of a teleport. It's doing damage in a kind of area around that. So it's 600 meters. Imagine a cone with 100 meters diameter, literally 600 meters, and then you're collecting all the echo fragments as you go. So again, that's another way that you can, again, the possibilities of gaining echo fragments really, really quickly using Siphon Pulse. All of a sudden, I'm back, you know, up high with health on my hull and everything like that. So was this kind of really looking at Epicenter and how we could change it around? Was it something that we thought, we've got a good idea, can we do something different? No, I mean, it's more like the idea is that you, like, also with most of these devices, that all of these devices have a little thing that you have to choose. In this case, do I use this now to finish off that like little enemy over there and get my echo fragment, or do I keep my stacks? Oh, not my stacks, but rather do I keep the cooldown to use it to get away from something? So you always have to choose: do I do this or do I do that? And does this leave me vulnerable, or is the damage that I get from the echo fragment is it worth that?
Yeah.
So you always have some choices there to make, which we find pretty interesting.
Yeah, we do indeed. Dan, look, I know that there's a kind of a question there about damage amounts based on. Now, it was something I actually asked you the other day when we had a conversation, Jan, that the spectral shift is actually affected by utility, which is, as you can see on the utility there, hopefully I'm not kind of in the way, it increases energy damage and kinetic damage of the installed devices and the ult. Now, remember, when you're in spectral form, you are still using devices, so that counts. Okay, so it is a device, whether you're using your normal devices or whether you're in the spectral form. So stacking utility could be an option if, again, it's something that you think, hang on, I'm going to try and be in spectral form as much as possible. I'm going to use these devices. I want to maximize the damage. Boom, there we go. Put some points into utility to increase it. So that's another one. Don't worry, we'll show gameplay. I just want to go through everything that we're bringing to the game, and I want to kind of, we've got Jan here in his own time, just to talk through things and explain things as best we can. So the next one is Vanish. Now, this is very, very similar, or I think, to the Scout Cloak, and I think it's the only ship that we have, apart from the Scout, that has anything similar to that, apart from using smoke screen or anything like that. So this will give you basically invisibility and suspends the hull decay for 10 seconds. So remember that obviously with the ult, you've got the decay of your hull. Using this will suspend it. Now the duration can be increased by 2 seconds when you collect an echo fragment for up to 10 seconds. So again, it's a way that you can stop that hull decay ticker basically happening. Now, one question I asked Jan, and I know some people are probably asking the same, is can you chain between the Vanish and the Siphon Pulse along with collecting echo fragments to actually generally extend the spectral form? Because pretty much it sounds like that on paper.
Yeah, totally. This Vanish is like your bread and butter ability to extend the ult. Also increase structure will also help you extend the ult duration, but Vanish, especially also in this place, can be used as a defensive maneuver to get out of dodge, or you use it at low hull with a lot of stacks, and then you are just an invisible menace leeching away on all the enemies, the unsuspecting enemies, and yeah.
Yeah, again, I am sure you're already thinking, you guys and girls, how you can change this, and we're trying to give you as much information as we can about when you're going to get the hands on this ship and how you can play it. There's going to be some nuance to it. Like I say, we're trying to make it a little bit unique, but kind of take in elements from kind of other ships. But it's definitely going to stand out on its own. And now the last device, which I'm just going to show you, is not that. It's that called Resurgence. Now this one basically collects all the echo fragments and revives them as manifestations of their former selves, forcing for them to fight for you for 15 seconds. Now, we've got something very similar with that in terms of, I think it's Together We Stand, the bonus that's from there. But I think it was you that mentioned it the other day. You can use it with Wrath of the Fallen as well, which, I mean, I think it was something like 3 friendly units or something, or more that we could potentially have.
Yeah, I mean, we can pretty much revive one enemy twice if we want to.
Okay.
Like once with Wrath of the Fallen if it procs, and then we can also use Resurgence to get that enemy up and running again. And of course, for you guys out there that may not have noticed it, there's a big like necromancy warlock theme here, like from other classical ARPGs or RPGs. So yeah.
So
I mean, the namesake Wraith already kind of hints at it, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a necromancer feel to it. I know I've played a lot of necromancer kind of resurrection type classes in other action RPGs and stuff like that. So it definitely feels like that. And as Jan was saying, with the whole Wraith name and the semi-corporeal feel of the spectral form, it heavily leans kind of into that. But certainly having things fighting for you alongside you with Wrath of the Fallen and things like that, it's going to be definitely a necromancer feel to it. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to ask, but just to kind of clarify something, you are not going to be resurrecting capital ships, okay? Yes. So don't expect to be taking down, the big ships, and then all of a sudden, ping, it appears at the side of you.
Yeah, that, like, funny side note, it was actually the case in the beginning.
Okay.
And we thought it was fun, but it was also very OP.
Okay.
So we had to take it out, sadly. But yeah.
Yeah. Take care, Lee. Yeah, Lee's just leaving us now. He's hopping on his plane. He's boarding to fly back to Canada. But thank you very much for dropping in, Lee.
Yeah, have a good flight, Lee.
Him and some of the team have been over at GDC. They're just making their way home now. So have a safe journey, and we shall see you bright and breezy on Monday, I'm sure. After that trip. But yeah, so do remember, we're not going to be resurrecting capital ships or anything. All the questions at this point are in the sheet. Cool, thank you, Lee. We'll drop over to those questions very, very soon because we need to kind of whiz through them as well and answer them for you all. So don't thinking you're going to be resurrecting anything big. It's definitely going to be smaller focus ships that are going to be fighting alongside you. When I'm playing, well, we might be able to do it. We might be able to get this to work if I'm lucky. We'll see if we can find a kind of fight. Now, I'm just going to look at the... go to this. Actually, let's see. Customizing the style. Now, I will show you the original skin, which is going to be coming your way as well. You can see here. I actually quite like it. It has a very much of a kind of... I think I said to you, Jan, and some of the team, it has a very much like an old Soviet feel to it in terms of the coloration. I don't know if that's what Matthias was going for in terms of coloration, but I do think it's really, really cool. But that is the original skin that you're going to be. That's going to be the default. Now, you can apply all of the different skins, okay? So for me, obviously, I've got the Kickstarter and then the Alienware. I think the Alienware looks really, really nice. But if you do want to change it, you can, and this is the kind of style that I went for, a bit, dark and mysterious, few shiny edges, etc. But you can apply them. Now, some of you beady-eyed people may notice on this, and it's something that we've kind of just introduced, which I didn't actually know about until a couple of days ago. Tease, you're such a clever man. Some people have been asking.
Sorry, you have to move me away, I think.
Otherwise okay.
People will not see it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We'll get rid of you. We'll get you. There we go. He's gone. But yeah, so obviously you've got all the different styles over this far side. But when you're actually in the style, if you've ever been wondering, I don't get to see what it looks like until I am actually flying. Okay, if you've noticed right at the bottom of the screen now, we've got show effects. If you hold down shift, everything darkens and you can pivot around your ship and you can see what everything looks like. So you'll see your ship skin, you'll see your thrusters, the colorations, everything is there now for your view. You just need to hold down the shift, which I think is a really good quality of life, because some of you boys and girls absolutely love to style your ships, and we've got some great screenshots later on with some very adventurous ones, should we say, of the styling. But I do think it's such a cool feature. So if you do make a change, if we go into the custom and then we change the paint job, actually no, we'll change to the engine color. So obviously when you're changing the engine color, you can see it there. We'll put a green on there, Cinnabar for the main. Let's go purple. So you can see if you wanted to go that, you could still see it. But when you back out, obviously it doesn't show it. But when you're here, literally hold down shift and you can see everything, and you're like, ugh, I'm not a fan of that. I think I need to change it. Ugh, I'm not sure on that color. because you're not dealing with the kind of the lights that everything is a bit glary and bright. So let me just customize that again, because I don't like that color. I need to change it back again. Let's do that, and then we were on there for the cinnabar, weren't we? There we go. Were we on the white? Actually, we'll just go with white for that one. But and then obviously everything that's in the supporter pack as well. If you've bought the supporter pack, you will be able to apply. So the engine effects are there. Everything is there. Again, just to reiterate, there is not going to be any more modules. So you're not going to be adding different modules or different types. There's not going to be any different cockpit styles or anything like that. This is kind of a very unique ship, and it's kind of going to stay that way. But what we'll do is I'm just going to quickly have a look at some of the questions, because we've got an absolute bucket load.
Also, small side note, like in this overview, you can also see another little QL feature that DATs has brought into the game. You can now see your colors that you already chose right in the overview. So you don't have to go into there and check it out.
And kind of write it down and like, what did I have color? So obviously with your paint job there, what Jan is just talking about there at the top of, as you can see, I've got the grey, the midnight, and I think it's the Stardust. So Jet, Airy Black, and Stardust is what you can see. But that's just another little tab that will show you there on the top. Which again, another little quality of life thing. We've been sneaking these in. Some people have been beady-eyed and have noticed these things, but not everybody. But I think that's a really cool and top work to tease on bringing that there. So let me just go back to the hangar shot there. Right, we'll just fly through some of these questions if we can. Bearded Frog would like to know, will we be able to reorder the Wraith spectral devices, aka to change the numerical hotkey relation to like you can for normal devices? Let's just use Jan back in. I don't believe we will. I think they're going to be fixed in position, aren't they, Jan? Your spectral devices.
I think it was still planned that we actually. Can you just try to drag and drop them? I think it was planned that we
no, I can't
be able to.
Yeah, I can't currently. They are locked currently, but maybe something that.
Yeah. But if it's not the case currently, then I will talk to the team.
See, this is where you apply the pressure. You just give these hints, you give these ideas, and like Jan, look, I'll talk to the team. Again, when we say we'll talk to the team, that is never a guarantee that we're going to implement these things. Please don't think that Jan has that much influence that he can say, look, somebody said on the stream that they want this, and we need to make it happen.
I mean, sometimes it works.
It does, yeah. Okay, Jan's going to get a lot of emails come on these. We're like, yeah, well, I would like this, Jan. Can you make this happen? So let's have a little look. It can also stack damage on enemy ships. Okay, so Decevian over on YouTube. Since the ship is built on stacks, can it also stack damage on enemy ships? I think you only kind of stack on yourself to increase your damage, don't you?
Yeah, you pretty much just get a condition. You get a condition whenever you pick up one of the echo fragments, and those stacks or those conditions just stack up, and the higher the stacks, the more damage you will deal.
Cool. I'm just going to kind of answer this question for Wizard Jerry. So the lower the hit points, or your hull points, it's not necessarily hit points, but the lower your hull points, the more damage you can deal. That is correct. So for what point can we reach 100% damage bonus? Now that is literally when you are at your tiny little minuscule bit of hull left. That is when you're going to be doing the most damage, because you've got to remember it's decaying all the time. So as it kind of gets closer and closer to zero hull in terms of the spectral form, that is when you're going to be doing the most damage. There we go. So next question. I knew we'd get loads of questions. Black Sheep Soft, will the max level be increased in the future? It's kind of not been decided yet. As soon as we have any details on that, then we shall let you know. And same from Black Sheep Soft. Can you add trade prices to the map, please? Okay, that's an interesting one, because we don't have a dynamic system, do we, for our trade? It's more like certain areas give good prices, but I think that would be probably a lot of work to try and introduce that in onto the UI on the kind of map as well. So good idea. I just don't know if we'd be able to fit that in a lot of the time with development, and I'm sure Jan will agree, it's what kind of time and resources we have available. I mean, don't get me wrong, we think some of these ideas are brilliant and we'd love to fit everything in, but we can't always do it because A, we're not a massive team, we don't have unlimited resources, and we have time frames to hit. So great suggestion, possibly not. Space is awesome. He's wondering, so this ship isn't really all Okar, it's kind of a blend of Okar and Ancients. I suppose with this spectral form, I think that's what they're kind of getting towards.
Well, let's just say it's a custom-made ship.
I like that answer. Jan's been practicing. Yeah, we won't give a definitive, but yeah. Right, Hell Slider. The spectral form devices are linked with the ship. If you have no devices installed, can you access the spectral devices? Yes, you can. The spectral form is tied to the ultimate. Okay, so even if you took all of the devices out and you had none of them, it doesn't matter because literally they are tied to the spectral form, which is your ultimate. Now, if you could take out the ultimate, that would be a problem, but you can't. So obviously, it's always there for you. Alligator Dude, is the damage from echo fragments or all damage in general? Literally, it's only for the ethereal resonance stack. So what you get from the echo fragments, it's the damage that you do from that, not from your damage in general. Space is awesome. Is there a stack limit? I think we said earlier, I think it was 10 that you can have for the ethereal resonance. Bean Ball in 911, can we get a new tier beyond legendary mythic gear and weapons, please? That's a hell of a suggestion. We'll have to wait and see. Space is awesome. I love that. Yeah. Space is awesome. Does the decay rate increase as more enemies are killed or a constant rate? I think we answered that one already. So that is kind of a constant rate. Obviously, you can slow that or stop it in various forms. With the devices. Alligator Dude says, how does the 10% decay stack? Does it make you immune at 10 stacks linear? I don't, is it linear? Literally, it will just kind of stop, won't it? With when you have 10 stacks of ethereal damage, ethereal resonance on the decay, it's kind of just going to stop. As we said, we're kind of putting a dam in the way of your kind of tick of your decay. But obviously that tick still happens. It's just you're stopping it at that moment. So it doesn't kind of make you immune. It just stops it for X amount of time. Alex over on YouTube. If we have the opportunity to be polite to be the pilot on Okar ship, will there be an opportunity to pilot on Okar ship, an outlaw ship in the future? I don't think we have anything planned for kind of outlaw ship because I know there's some variance with the ships that we fly in terms of interceptors and strikers and stuff like that. But I don't think we've got anything planned to bring in another ship in terms of like an outlaw ship in the future. Not that I'm aware of. Alligator Dude back on YouTube. Are the spectral form devices affected by utility? Specifically, some are.
I mean, technically everyone is, or like every single one is, because utility also reduces cooldown reduction.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps.
Yes, of course,
and of course the damage of your teleport. Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be kind of expertise is going to be a good one. Utility might be another one. Again, it's kind of horses for courses in how you kind of play it as well. Can we get a photo of you before taking the Wraith for a spin? That's from Space. Yeah, as soon as I launch, I'll go into photo mode so you can have a little look. See, I mean, you've kind of seen it a little bit whilst I've been docked here, kind of in the hangar, which you can kind of see. And in the blog as well, if you've not already seen, we have got a blog that's gone live over on Steam, and also the video that I showed earlier that is now up on YouTube. So if you want to watch them, you can see them after the stream, obviously, because you don't want to miss anything now. I mean, we've got us devs here to answer all your questions, but do have a look, and we've got a nice little rotating spinny view of the ship as well that you can have a look at. Bearded Frog says, if utility affects the damage of spectral devices, does it also affect the cooldowns? Yes, I think we just kind of answered that one.
Just to be clear on that one, it will not increase the damage of your siphon pulse. That is because that is completely dependent on your resonance stacks. So this will not be increased.
Okay. So there we go. Does the player still receive the echo? Does the player still receive the echo stacks? I'm trying to work out that one. We'll come back to that one. And then spawned, as we can see, there are, for example, a button for there were normal devices and spectral devices. They are activated in the same time fused together to active. I think what they mean with that is that if you activate, say, your siphon pulse in slot number 1, when you come out of spectral form, does that put the device in number 1 slot on cooldown? No,
nope.
Totally independent. They are totally independent. So, again, just think of each of them as being 2 sets of 4, but they are not linked in any way. Literally, when you're in spectral form, then you will have the devices there available to you, but you won't have your normal devices, and then vice versa. When you're in normal mode, your devices are there, but not the spectral devices, because you have to be in spectral form for those. So there we go. Right, I think that's all of them in the catalogue in the document that we have for questions. Absolutely loads. Thank you very much for dragging those in. We're very, very, always willing to answer as many questions as we can. If we do spot more in the chat, we'll try and answer them as well. Now, I think it's time that we took it out for a little spin. Let's go for a little dock, shall we? Now, while we're here, I'm just going to go straight into camera mode. Now, some of you beady-eyed ones may have noticed that the kind of fin at the bottom of this ship, which is this one right here, that one kind of articulates out of the way when you are docked. So it'll kind of raise up out of the way so as not to scratch the paintwork or, land on the dock or anything like that. So it does articulate out of the way. And I'm not too sure if the wings do as well. I think that kind of... Do they fold in as well? Or have I just...
No, it's
just a kind of tail fin underneath, yeah. So... that is something, just a nice little thing that we've kind of brought to the game, just as a little touch. I believe Matthias loved doing this. I think he had some wonderful times trying to create this, so fair play. It's a nice effect, but it was a bit of a hair puller outer. But a very nice looking ship. Like I say, this is just my colour scheme that I've chosen. Yours will vary. If you want a Kermit with a nosebleed look, then you go for that. But for me, it's definitely, I preferred this look. Now, there was a question earlier that somebody was asking when you are going to be able to kind of get this ship. Now, I need to answer this just so that people kind of understand when it's coming in. It is tied into the storyline of the Wrath of the Ancients story. Okay, so I'm not going to reveal too much. However, I will say that you are not going to be able to own this ship until after the storyline is finished. Now, notice I said own the ship. You may get to fly it before that, but you can't own it until you finish the storyline. And that is just storyline purposes. Okay, so we just want to be kind of clear and upfront about that. But it's going to be worth it. I think so. I think you boys and girls are going to absolutely love the whole playing of the ship. Now, let me just come out of there. Now, let's try. I've got the ultimate ready, but I'm going to try and take on some of these redeemers. Oh, they're coming in. Now, you can see I'm still a little bit sluggish, but I'm trying to pick up the ethereal resonance. Now, you can see there. Sorry, that is the echo fragment, not the ethereal. So when we pick up these, that is what we're going to be picking up, and they're going to give you the stacks of ethereal resonance. So you need to be on the lookout for these. You'll see them as you fly around. You'll notice them after each enemy is killed, and then you go and collect them. That's a cool screenshot, isn't it? Look at that. That's almost like we're getting a little bit of our special, doing a little bit of damage there to those. You can see it's almost like linking to them to multiple enemies within range, and you're not even having to attack them. It is just doing that damage for you. So that's the nice little aspect of the special. Right, so I'm going to collect this echo fragment. Now, if I just go into the ship, now you'll see here that we've got an ethereal resonance stack, and that is going to be dealing damage to all enemies within the 300 meters. Now, obviously, as we put more of those in, we get the more damage. Now you can see the other things. We've got the weapon boost, etc. Now, as I collect more, our handling will improve because it's a little bit sluggish currently. Again, we've got 2 new things. Now, we can collect the things that are flying, we've killed and are just lying around, such as the signal circulators, etc. as we fly around. But you have to fly to within range of the echo fragments to collect. You cannot use F to collect them. Let me just get rid of you. Boom, there we go. So there's another echo fragment there. So you have to fly towards them. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fly over here to... Actually, I'm just going to get rid of this G&B squad. Why are you not leave me alone? No way. So again, pick up the echo fragment. Go into there just to check. Some people might not know this. If you ever want to know what all your different icons at the top of your screen mean, just pop into your ship. And then you've got the current conditions in there. So you can see we've got 1 stack of ethereal resonance just because they decay. Obviously, they run out over time. We've got 10 seconds left on that one. You can see it ticking down at the top. Now, where's he gone? Where's the big Brutus? He's over here. Come here, Mr. Redeemer Inquisitor. Let's have a little look-see at you. Let's see it. Right. There we go. We have entered into spectral form. That is what it's going to look like when you're in there. I mean... I kind of think the design team and the art team have really made it live up to its name. It's very spectral. It's this wraith that's hunting you down. Interesting, we had a lot of discussions about the actual name. I remember there was some discussion within the team about what it should be called. You know, should it be called this? Should it be called that? And then, you know, what did it kind of really feel like? And these are the design decisions that the team have to make. It's not just, right, we're going to call it that ship, because we have a kind of a lot of different opinions within the team of, oh, this sounds better, that looks better, etc. And it's kind of very collaborative in how we come to the decision. But I really do think the Wraith really does fit this, especially with the spectral form. I think it's a very cool name. And let's just come out of there. So if you notice, I can't do that on that ship. That's just rude. So I can't use the Siphon Pulse, and I can't use that on the big enemy because it's only a small enemy. But what I can do is I can use the Vanish. Yeah, and if you notice at the top, I have stopped the decay of my hull. The hull is obviously the bottom of the 3 bars above Jan's head up there, and that is basically stopped. Now it's ended, and you can see that it's ticking away again. It isn't probably the best enemy to choose to deal with, but obviously we've taken that down. Hello, you. Let's go deal with you. So I've kind of lost my ultimate, but I need to build that up again to go back into the spectral form, so we'll see if we can deal some damage to these. You'll also notice as well we've got our normal devices back because... Yes, I know Gaultier's crew's ready, but we're not going on there yet. We're not dealing with him. So there's an echo fragment there. Let's start building that up. You can see my ultimate is building up again. Let's just do that. We may need to go find somewhere else as well. Let's have a few more enemies. Might be able to find a HR array. That'd be good. There we go. More ethereal resonance stacks. See, when I'm just there because it's in range, it's doing damage. Once I get into range, you can see that it's full. I'm not even firing at it, and that's just because of the special. So you just have to tail them around, and then eventually, yep, there you go. He's kind of got his shield back, but that's fine. Let's take him out. Let's get rid of him. He's a flighty one, isn't he? Look at him. Down there. See, there we go. And we've got that echo fragment there. Excellent. But what I'm just going to do is, I know, Jan, I've taken up a lot of your time, and I know it's kind of getting late, and I don't want to take up all of your time this evening. And I know you need to enjoy your weekend because he's a hard-working fellow, is Jan, and he did offer to come in on his spare time, taking time away from his lovely family, just to come and talk to you boys and girls about the whole Wraith and everything else that's coming together. We may get him on again in the future. I might be able to strong arm him. I might be able to say, look.
We see.
It's like, hang on, steady. But I'm going to let Jan go now. We're going to carry on because I've still got a lot to get through, and I don't want to take up all his evening. So I think we should all give Jan a big round of applause for joining us. And hopefully we'll see him again soon. But I'm going to get rid of him. I'm going to let him say goodbye, and hopefully we'll see him soon. Yeah. Thank you, Jan.
Goodbye.
I shall see you.
Bye, Gary, and of course, goodbye, internet. And
yeah, goodbye, internet.
Have a great evening.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much, Jan. I shall speak to you probably on Monday morning with all the wonderful bug reports and everything suggested. Remember, he was the one that said I might be able to convince people to put things into the game. So if you want to, send them in, please do. He's going to enjoy that. But thank you very much, Jan. You're an absolute legend, and we'll see you very, very soon. Take care, my friend.
See you soon.
I know. There we go. That's Jan, a wonderful colleague of mine. He does help us immensely, and thank you so much for joining us to talk about these. Right, let me see if I can find somewhere on the map that's got maybe something that we can really... Let's go find that dreadnought, shall we? Let's have a little fly, shall we? Should we have a little fly? There we go. So you get a bit more of it. Again, it's still a work in progress. We've got much to do. In terms of tweaks here and there, but pretty much we're very happy with how the whole thing is panning out. Just pinged. Was it a sighting? Or a sighting? We don't want to do the Leviathan. I want to do the Dreadnought one. The Dreadnought. Let's go. Let's boogie. So what are your thoughts? In your initial look, obviously we've seen the video, we've talked through the different aspects. Obviously I'm trying to show you some decent gameplay now. Let's deal with these, shall we? What are your initial thoughts? Let's get some echo fragments in there. So we're nearly up to there. We've got another stack of residents there. We've got that. Our ultimate is nearly ready. It does... There we go. Spectral form is ready. So I'm not going to take you out yet because I don't want to put a back you there and then blow you up. Right, let's fly over here, shall we? And take you on spectral form. Boom. There we go. We just flew through some of them and we hit them. And again. There we go. So that skill, obviously, that we just used, the ability of the spectral shift, I just killed the enemies there without actually doing any direct damage. It was just doing the spectral shift. Now obviously you can see on the screen it does so much energy and so much kinetic damage in that kind of radius. 600 meters kind of long, but then the radius of around your ship, remember, it's kind of a radius around it. So, and it collects the echo fragments along the way. So it's kind of amazing. You can still see that I've got some decay happening, but if I ever want to stop that, I can. I do need to actually just remember that when I use Siphon Pulse, that was going to repair me, so I need to do something that's quite kind of big. I need to get over here as soon as I can. We can fly over here. Let's do that. There we go. Unfortunately that all ended, but we can collect some more. Again, once you get used to the nuances, I think people are going to be holding on to the whole decay and having the spectral form active quite often. Now I know this is obviously a tier 4 ship, we're level kind of 30 and we've got decent stuff, but this is where you're going to be very challenged for new endgame activities in terms of the rifts and things like that. I know some people don't enjoy those. We're obviously very aware of that, but they're definitely going to be something that's going to challenge you even more. Jadti, I just see your question there. Any hope for PSV2? Hang on, let me just pause that. Any hope for PSVR 2 mode on PS5 Pro patch with more of the PC graphical features? Now, people have asked us about the PS5 Pro. We are still waiting on a dev kit for this to happen. Obviously there's a lot of dev teams out in the world that all want to have the same thing, but we are trying to work on getting hold of a dev kit so that we can then look at what enhancements we can bring to the game for PS5 Pro specifically. In terms of VR, and I know it's obviously something that's mentioned from time to time, we're not going to be doing any VR. It's not something that we had to make the decision right from the early doors of development. It's just something that if you want to do, you want to do right, but it is specifically difficult to do. Hats off to the devs that do it and do it well, but it is difficult to incorporate into a game and do it well, and it takes a lot of development time to do these things. So it's a kind of, what resources do we have available? Can we introduce a VR system that is good? Is it going to be something that is worthwhile for that dev time? It's a difficult balance, and when you're a smallish team, we have to do it right. And the mainstay of the game is obviously creating a good game. And this isn't just for PlayStation, obviously, it's for VR in total. The other thing to consider, and I'm a VR player, I do have VR headset. VR is obviously at times very expensive, but it is also quite niche. It can be, unfortunately, that way, that not many people have the additional, peripherals for VR, etc. So VR equipment is quite niche. It's expensive to develop for. And the other thing is as well that our game is in a genre that we do admit is in a niche. It is another niche kind of genre. So when you're kind of battling against the development time and the cost to create something in VR that is good, when you are kind of battling with a niche piece of equipment that not everybody has access to, and then when you're developing in a genre that is also niche, I mean, we all love space games, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a massive seller, but we all love space games. You can see that there's a lot of elements that kind of fight against having the resources to spend on creating a VR. That's not to say we hate VR or anything like that. It's just a point of we are limited, and we kind of beat the drum on this a little bit. We don't want anybody to feel like we're leaving things behind because we don't care. That's definitely not the case. It's just that we don't have the resources to do it. And I'm sure there's dev teams out there that would love to put so many different things into the game, but it's having those things available. There was another question as well from Magic and Sparkle. Was it nerve-wracking having Jan watch you play? It's always nerve-wracking having somebody watching. Now, Jan is a very good player. He is a very good player. He spends a lot of time testing the game, fixing things, and he does interact with the game a lot more than I do. I don't always have the time, so he's a much better pilot than I am. He can knock off 2K rifts without a care in the world. Me, I'd probably struggle, but he's just a brilliant pilot. But no, I don't mind. Hopefully we'll get more of the dev team on to talk about things in the future as well. So anyway, let's crack on, because I know I'm going to go over time here. I'm definitely going to go over time. But hey, why not? We're showing off the Wraith even more. I have to say, I do like this. I do like the coloration of my ship. Look at that. Look at that. How can you not like that? That is a cool design. That is a cool design. I really like it. Well done, team. Well done, team. Got it. Right, let's get it. I'm absolutely obliterating these guys. He's a powerful boy. He's a powerful boy, the Wraith, isn't he? He's a very powerful. I like him. There we go. Let's get the stacks of material, isn't there? You've been detected. No, really? Really, Adam? You've been detected? Who would have thought? Maybe it's because these are firing at you. Right, let's jump down there. A bit too far away. Let's aim the corrosion instead. There we go. Can we get... Look at all them stacks. Look at all them stacks. Cool. And we have that one. I just want that one. Give me that. Thank you. Now, we may see the odd bug here and there. I'm half expecting to find one as I'm playing through. But collecting the echo fragments is the main thing. Again, I think once you kind of get into the end game of rifts, etc., you're going to really enjoy it. Right, let's get some more. There we go. Right, let's fly on. I don't mind going over time for you boys and girls, because it is what I'm here for. It is what I'm here for. And Lee's not here anymore, so he can't tell me to stop. So we'll just keep going. He's on a flight. He don't mind. Right, let's just go do a dreadnought signature, shall we? So let's see if we can do one. I do apologise if I've missed any questions that have come through the chat. I knew it was going to be very, very busy. I knew it was going to be very, very full on. We've tried to anticipate a lot of the questions in advance already. But if you do need any follow-ups, do hit us up on the Discord, and I'll try and answer them there directly. Probably not tonight because it's late here in the UK, but certainly in next week I'll be able to follow up with you.
Interest in bloodshed. Stand down.
Stand down. No, let's kill. Let's do some of these. Right, let's do that. Let's get some of that. Siphon pulse. I love that sound. That is so cool. There we go. Collecting that. Let's get that. So we're keeping the spectral form as long as we can. See it's decaying slightly. And then we do a little spectral shift. See it's decaying slowly. There we go. Another echo fragment. There we go. More ethereal resonance. There we go. So again, while you're just... And I just want to kind of show it so you can see the tendrils that are kind of firing off to all the ships. Even though that isn't the target I'm aiming for, you can see that this is being tagged and that one's been tagged as well. So that's just doing the damage from the special, which I think is very, very cool. And as you obviously, if you encounter more and you're surrounded, then having that is just going to make it easier. I'm just going to hit that. There we go, that's ended on there. So again, you can build things up quite quickly again, so don't worry if you're dropping out of spectral form. Once you kind of work out the nuances of it all, and I'm still learning it as well. Even though I get a chance to play it, I don't get to play it enough to understand the complete nuances, but again, it's a new ship for all of us, and we'll try and get it into a place where everybody really enjoys it, and I think you will. I do think it's a cool looking ship. Let's just hide out of the way of them big cannony things. And you can see that with the ethereal resonance, the stacks of it, that my handling is a little bit improved, but then it kind of... Hello, that's not where I want to be. No, not today, thank you. You big nasty. So I'm sure you're going to have a lot of follow-up questions, and by all means do let us know what you think. But there's some good stuff coming your way with Wrath of the Ancients, and I'm really going to be looking forward to showing you over the coming streams. If you don't already know, we do stream every other Friday, usually. Whoops, we can pull out there. So if you're ever in doubt, let's hit the spectral shift, even though it nearly threw us into there. Flawless, absolutely flawless. I love it. I love how he's just like, let's expedite some boom boom. There we go. I just blew that up. Nice. Still in the spectral form. You can see all of a sudden, you know, we kind of brought it back up on ourselves. We're doing well. So if you're going to do anything from the Titan stuff, like the Leviathan, ow, that's not nice. He blew it up in my hand. It's just rude. Let's pick this up again. I'm going to stop in a second. I'm having too much fun, but I know I've got to do some stuff still before the end of the stream. Well, let's come in a little bit. There we go. There we go. Damage report. There we go. Right. I'm just going to plonk that there because, hey, look at that ship. Look at that. That's a swooshy ship as well. Oh, I want a screenshot for that. It's typical. Jerry, I've just actually... hang on. Let's just see if I can get... see if I can generate some more ults and then just do a screenshot. We are going to have some cool screenshots as well. I've got some more that I can probably share with you that I took as well. Let's just try and drag some more of these. Let's just blow up. Come on, you. Again, once you're out of there, you can still use your... I've got fragment. We want you. You do some more damage. Got fragments. Right, let's just fire that down to there. Let's see if we can hit some of these. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's going to go. Boom. Look at all of this. Echo fragments. Cool. Right, there we go. Now for Wizard Jerry. There you go. Hopefully there. Hopefully that's a nice shot for you. It's a nice one, isn't it? It's a nice one. There's some cool stuff coming your way. Not only with this, but there you go. How's about that one? We're going to first screenshot. It's a wallpaper maker is this game. Absolutely wallpaper. One from Bearded Frog. So obvious gameplay reasons aside, why does this OCAR ship have wormhole generators for travel? Do you carry Indians? Yeah, I'd love to enter some of my screenshots, but I'm not allowed. But yeah, I think it's a cool shot. But there you go. Right. What I'm going to do is just bear with me. I'm just going to switch you over to some other stuff. I need to just save this here. Right. Tell you what, let's, in the interim, while I set this up, surely you have a what trailer? Do you want to look at the locations again while I set things up? Just while I set things up. Have a look at the location trailer. Back in a moment. There we go. How cool was that? That again, if you've not seen it already, is our kind of environment sneak peek of some of the things that are coming your way with Wrath of the Ancients. So obviously getting a new ship, which we've just kind of briefly shown you, talked about for quite a while. Thank you again to Jan. And then there's a new environment as well. So you've got a lot to look forward to. You're going to look forward to. Just trying and catch up with some questions. Bearded Frog, I know you've asked a question about the wormhole technology. Now, you've got to remember that this isn't necessarily a full out-and-out OCAR ship. I'm sure the OCAR are very precious about their things being utilised. So it's a very unique ship. So maybe it isn't a true full-on OCAR. Who knows? Anything other than that? No, I can't see. Right, anyway, here we are. We've got some wonderful screenshots to just show you. I'm going to blast through these. And we'll go away going over time. I've always been going over time. Value for money is what I say. Value for money. Right, so every time we have a stream, I generally ask our dev team to pick out their favourites of the screenshots that I pick from various places around the internet. So whether it's on Steam, whether it's on Discord, whether it's on Reddit, you name it, could be on social media. I'll try and dig out some of the best screenshots that we find. Now, there's a couple of screenshots that I like just purely because this person on Steam, and I've got a couple of their screenshots in a row here, just went full on mad with their styling. Literally, it was like, hey, let's put this livery on. I want this style. I want this color. And I love it just because of the absolute nutsness of it. Nutsness. Is that a word? Nutsness? I think we can call it nutsness. So, very, very cool. Again, this is from Omar Farouk on Steam, and I've got another shot for him as well very, very soon. But I just like the fact that he's just like, do you know what? I'm going to have that tint there. I'm going to have that color on there on the main thrusters, but I want it on there. Just absolute nuts. And I think it was really, really cool. And then they got another one very, very similar. But again, this Sentinel, I do like the styling of it very, very much. I felt very kind of Japanese with this one. I know it's not, but you know, it kind of, that's what my first impression was. And I think a lot of people, when you see any kind of image, it's always that first impression. And I think it was George Lucas or something like that, that you only kind of want a 3-second scene, and that's kind of your maximum before you change. And I think because it's always that aspect of you've got to give the impression of what your screenshot all about is, or your image all about is in that such a short space of time. But Omar Farouk over on Steam, wonderful stuff. I've got another one of yours actually in a little while, which I think is very, very cool. And this one is from a regular poster, and thank you very much, Kelly, over on Discord. You do take some wonderful shots every week and post them up on there, and I implore everybody else to do the same if you can. It would be very, very nice to see as many screenshots, and especially when you get your hands on the Wrath of the Ancients. I think you're just going to explode because the environments are cool. Obviously, the Wraith is really cool as well. So, you know, there's plenty of opportunity to take wonderful environment shots and new aspects and things. But yeah, this one's from Kelly Stew over on the Discord. Another great environment shot. I'll just move my hand out there, the icon. Again, the art team. They do wonderful environments, and I think we're very blessed to kind of have them. Now, this again, you may see that there's a kind of a theme with Omar Farouk's work. This one is definitely a bubblegum gunship. I don't think there's much you can really say about this, but it's a pink gunship with the cannon on top, just the turret just going nuts. And I know it's something that we have in the game as well with the No Aliens kind of Ghostbusters logo, which I think is always very, very funny. And then we've got the No Aliens there, livery, No Aliens with the stop sign. I do think it's a great screenshot, and I just love the colour. I think it really, really works. I mean, it's not for everyone, obviously, but hey, what can I say? I have a ship that's like Kermit having a nosebleed, but that wasn't my fault. That's Lee's, just to reiterate that one. I'm just throwing it out there that was Lee that chose that because he picked a number on RNG. Wasn't my choice. So anyway, that's another one for Omar. And now next up, we're going onto Steam. Jonique is the name of this user. And this one, you know, I'm a bit of a sucker for shots that are out of focus. You know, when there's that little bit of depth of field, and you've got the sharpness of the undercarriage of the bomber, and then just in the distance, you see this almighty battle happening, and you're just thinking, okay, somebody's going to dive. Oh, somebody has died there. There we go. A nice little explosion happening. Yeah, sorry, Grip. You know, I've got to throw it in there because he's on a plane back to Canada. But I do like this. I really enjoy this just because of the out of focus. And you can see that the rockets are firing off. There's a whole melange of activity happening, but it isn't always necessary in the foreground, and you can have a look at the background and see what's going on. Some corrosion damage going on there as well, and rockets flying off. And I think it's when you can work a screenshot that isn't necessarily on paper. You might go, okay, it just looks like a normal screenshot, but then when you dive into it and you think, oh, there's some little nuances there, there's little things that are happening, there's a story playing out in the background, and that's what I like. So fair play to Jonique over on Steam. Now, a new person that is also on Steam that I haven't seen posting, but all of a sudden they maybe have just got the game and they're posting some brilliant screenshots, and this one's called from Taiwan Bear. So I think we kind of get the idea. Well done, Frog, you've just read. This one I liked because of the damage that was happening. Obviously, corrosion's hit. They're taking some of their own damage on the shield. You can see that the shield is there just blinking to the damage. Probably a mine's gone off, but you can absolutely see the flames that are engulfing the outlaw that's just about to well, have a fiery death after the destruction from the corrosion. And I just love that shot because there's all that activity. And again, it's kind of a storyline. The ship itself is taking damage. There's been the big explosion. And then the outlaw is having to kind of disappear into oblivion, really, in destruction in probably about 2 seconds after that shot was taken. But yeah, if you don't see, there is a little bit of fun DMZ news that goes through at the bottom there. It's all make-believe. It's never kind of lore. It's just something that we write just for a little bit of funsies. So have a read. And also there's the DMZ lottery numbers that, you know, you might be lucky, you might win a fortune in credits. Maybe. You just have to check the numbers and see. So that's Taiwan Bear over on Steam. Sticking with Steam, one person that's done some screenshots for us before And this one, again, I like. It's the symmetry. It's the kind of iconic shot. It's a striker. It looks like, you know, a kind of mixture of Star Wars with lightsabers and everything else. And this one's Jet Threat, who we know we've had before. And I think it's really, really cool. I do love that aspect. And then if we zoom in really, really close, there we can see Adam in the cockpit. Everybody's like, what are the lottery numbers about? Again, it's all fun. It's all kind of interesting. It was something that we threw in as a little bit of funsy towards, hey, why not have a lottery and we can dish out the numbers while we're doing the streams? You know, it's all fun. It's all fun. It's rigged. I love that. I love that. So that one is from Jet Threat. Now we're getting into the top 3. Okay, so this is the top 3. Now this one, again, is a ship, and from player that's doing a lot of great work over on the Xbox Series S. Now this one was quite popular with the dev team. I think personally, I choose the screenshots, but I don't vote in anything. This is all the rest of the dev team that chooses. Now this one's quite interesting impact of colors, should we say? Does it work for you? Is it a favorite? Then maybe. For me, I think it's a cool ship. I do love the engine effects at the back here, how they're just kind of sweeping vapor there as it's trailing behind, and it definitely suits the styling of the ship that's cruising through. Looks like somewhere like Nefties or around there, the barren environment behind them, but it's really, really nice. And fair play, this one's livid big, and this was from Reddit, so big shout out to them for all that they're doing, posting of screenshots and tips and discussions and everything on there. So that was cool. So that was in 3rd place. Now in 2nd place, a fairly regular poster of screenshots, and this one I think is a really, really cool one, and I think you can work out why, because we got a cute little turtle, well, in fact it's a gunship, but you know, a bomber, sorry, that's making its way to the ocean. But the styling is so cool, and the way that they've put it in focus and everything else, it just gives that absolute scale that it's a tiny little thing. It's actually huge, because you can't even see the pilot. It's, you know, he sat there. But it kind of, this was a difficult one to choose for the dev team, because they were like, oh, I want to choose this one. Oh, I want to choose this one, because there's a couple of really cool ones. But fair play. Type Kibbles posted this on our Discord, a great screenshot. And the gunship as a turtle, I think is just amazing, absolutely amazing. But it just gives you think that this little hatchling of a turtle's just making its way down to the ocean to start its life in the big blue sea, wherever it is. But great work. Now, before I show you doing this next one, the winner of this week actually drew a comment from one of the dev team, which I thought was really, really cool. And this is Tom from the art team. Shout out to Tom for making some amazing art. But he actually chose this one as his favorite, as did the majority of the dev team. But he actually said that he thought that this screenshot, which I'm going to show you, is his favorite top pick of all time in all the ones he's seen. And a lot of people agreed with him as well. But it is an amazing shot. Now, I'm going to show you now, but obviously there's a little story behind it. But this is coming from Electrotech, and he posted this on our Discord. And this is from one of the art team. Now that, I think, in itself is an amazing shot. Simply because the circling, everything, there's just so much going on. And I think it really touched a kind of good point with Tom, specifically for giving that image. Now, some of you that know, this is actually a bug. There is an issue with the Redeemer Inquisitors that cause this to happen, where they will start to spiral. Now, I think Electrotech has been very, very clever here, because he's obviously done the damage, made it start flaming and destroying and everything. And then as you kind of zoom in, it's kind of where it's traveled from, so it's kind of spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And Yeah, I think it's an amazing shot. I love the background. Obviously, just kind of frames everything really, really nice. But you cannot take your eyes off that Redeemer Inquisitor just bugging out and spinning round and round and round. And I think it's high praise from Tom. Really is high praise. If you know that one of the art team think that you've taken a great screenshot, then yeah, you're kind of up there. You really are up there. So fair play to Electrotech. You can have a round of applause for giving us one of this week's rather top pick from the dev team. Space, that was a different person. That was good question. I'm gonna have to look that up. Johan's like, it's a feature. It liquefies the Redeemers inside. Indeed. But again, a great screenshot and a thoroughly worthy winner for this week. So I'm going to kind of wrap up because I'm way over time. Time. It's this thing. If you haven't already, we'd really appreciate if you would kind of hit us up for a wish list over on Steam for Wrath of the Ancients. It's going to be coming your way soon. No dates as yet, but it's going to be coming your way. And I hope you get to enjoy it as much as we are creating it, and everything else that you've seen so far is going to be coming your way. Just going to remind you of a few things. PlayStation, currently there is a sale on for EVERSPACE 1, so if you're interested in that, if you've never maybe played EVERSPACE 1, you've been playing EVERSPACE 2, why not try EVERSPACE 1? Again, it's a different kind of genre of space game. Roguelite, flying through repeatable kind of content, trying to get there as quick as you can each time with the story progression, get stronger and stronger after each death. If you are into EVERSPACE 1 or EVERSPACE 2, then you might want to look out on GOG and Humble because we've got some sales on at the moment for some very good discounts, so do check that out. Something that you may be interested in. Again, like I said the other week, you can maybe buy a copy for your friends. You know, if you've got a need, or buy a friend. Just buy a friend. Say, hey, I don't know you. Here's a copy of EVERSPACE 2. Be my friend. We shall see. We shall see. Now, remember, we're going to be back in 2 weeks' time. Okay, 2 weeks' time. We've got another special stream coming your way. And I think you're going to enjoy it. I really do. It's going to be a good conversational piece, I think. So we are going to have a conversation, but with who? We will tell you in good time. But be on the lookout on Discord and everywhere else when we announce this stream, because, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have a good conversation, should we say. And I hope you can join us for that. So, like I said, 2 weeks' time, do join us for more. We will play out with the Wraith again, so you can have a little look-see of that and everything. It is already up on YouTube. We've got a blog post coming your way as well, so if it's not, it's not anybody from the team. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Nobody from the team. There we go. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to find out in a couple of weeks. So anyway, I'm going to leave you now because it's 9:15 here in the UK and it's way past my bedtime. I'm kidding. But we'll play out with the Wraith video so you can see that again. I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to reveal more. If you've got follow-up questions, hit me up on the Discord and everywhere else and try and get these answered. We've got more to come your way and we're going to enjoy every moment of it, throwing it out to you. It's not Eric. I'm going to say it's definitely not Eric and it's definitely not Frog that we're interviewing. But I'm going to bid you adieu anyway. I'm Gary, your community manager. Thank you very much for joining us as always. Thank you for making these streams so enjoyable with all the questions, all the interest and everything else. We're going to bring you more good stuff. So I shall see you in 2 weeks' time. And I'll see you on the forums in between. So take care, folks. Be good. And we'll see you soon. Enjoy the Wraith. Take care, folks. Bye now. As the events of the new story in Wrath of the Ancients unfold, you'll get your hands on a one-of-a-kind ship called the Wraith. We hope you're ready, pilots, as this fighter flies in a league of its own. At first, this new spacecraft may feel heavy. New Wraith pilots will quickly learn one has to earn its full potential. Starting with the special, each kill drops echo fragments. Collecting fragments grants stacks of ethereal resonance, which deals damage over time to nearby enemies while increasing your speed. Damage against the current locked target is doubled. Activate your ultimate to take on the ship's namesake with Spectral Form. Entering this semi-corporeal state saps the Wraith's hull over time. The less hull you have, the higher your damage output. In this state, the ship temporarily replaces your devices with unique abilities. Siphon Pulse consumes ethereal resonance stacks, harming all affected enemies, repairing the hull for a percentage of the damage dealt. Spectral Shift teleports pilots forward, passing through smaller enemies and damaging all targets in a radius around the path, collecting echo fragments along the way. In a pinch, Vanish turns the ship invisible and suspends hull decay. The ability's duration increases when collecting echo fragments. Finally, Resurgence collects all available echo fragments, reviving them as manifestations that fight alongside you, great for turning the tide of battle. When your hull hits 0, Spectral Form ends, fully restoring it once more. Pilots will be able to get a taste of this ship during the main campaign and acquire it from later. There's still more to the elusive Wraith, but we'll leave that for you to discover in EVERSPACE 2 Wrath of the Ancients. Wishlist today to be ready for release on PC, Xbox and PlayStation later this year.